What's up guys? Welcome back to our channel. It is Meg here, flying solo on this week's video, except for Trail Cat right here. She's with me. This week's video is going to be a what I eat in a week on the Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living. I love this program. It is such a great reset. I did it in January for the new year and I felt so good and energized, and just my stomach felt less bloated. So I figured after the crazy year that it's been, I needed a reset again. So I decided to do it this August, and I thought it would be fun to share all the meals that I had this week. This is not necessarily what you should eat in a week, but this is just what I happen to have this week. Obviously my diet is going to vary based on activity and different things, so don't feel like this is what you have to eat. This is just purely for inspiration and to help you get ideas of what foods you can have on the 30 days that are going to make you feel awesome and not deprived, because that is what is so great about this program. You do not have to feel deprived eating healthy foods. So let me show you all the delicious foods that I got to eat this week. All right, starting off with Saturday, I was feeling fancy and I had time. So I decided to cook some oatmeal on the stovetop with some cinnamon protein powder and apples. And it was super simple and absolutely delicious way to start the day. And then moving on into later in the day, I decided to make a smoothie. I had made some pre-made smoothie bags with frozen fruit and kale so that they were super easy and ready to go. I just added in some protein powder and our Digestion Plus, which is a prebiotic, added some water and almond milk, and it was good to go. So easy and delicious, and honestly super filling too. These shakes keep me full for hours. Moving on to a little later that afternoon, I had these homemade chocolate protein balls and they were delicious. And later that evening, I decided to cut up some sweet potatoes and cook them in the air fryer. My boyfriend was making burgers on the grill, so I decided to go without the bun and have this burger plate with my sweet potato fries and salad. And then something I look forward to almost every night I'm on the 30 Days to Healthy Living, a hot cup of our detox tea. And I love to squeeze a lemon in there. And this is just such a relaxing way to end the night and not feel like I'm missing out. All right, straight moving into Sunday. I started my morning, of course, with a tizzy. So that includes our detox tea and a fizz. This is what we replace coffee with on the 30 Days to Healthy Living, and I'm telling you, it's amazing. So for breakfast that day, I didn't feel like having a shake, so I decided to have a little bowl of mango and blueberries along with one of our Arbonne protein bars with 10 grams of protein. And later in the afternoon, since I didn't have my shake for breakfast, I decided to have a shake for lunch, and this time I was making a mixed berry shake with chocolate protein powder. Next, I added our Digestion Plus because it makes such a difference in my gut health and really helps me absorb all the nutrients coming from the protein powder. This shake is so yummy. I also added some almond butter to add additional healthy fat to my smoothie. I realized at the last minute that I've forgotten to add my greens powder, so I just decided to stir it in with the straw, and it still mixed up really nice. Later that evening, I decided to get creative with this butternut squash that had been sitting on my counter for a while. So I decided to cut it up to make some butternut squash pasta. And while I was cutting up that squash, I got hungry, so I had some leftover sweet potatoes and of course my afternoon fizz. Throughout this video, you guys are gonna see me drinking fizz, but I probably had more than I took a video of. Here I am making my butternut squash pasta sauce. I really just made this up as I went along, but it had the butternut squash, all the spices that I had put on the butternut squash, nutritional yeast, and almond milk and some garlic. And really that was it. I tried to keep it simple because the Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living is all about clean eating and whole foods. So this blended up really nicely and made this kind of thick sauce. And then I just added it to some brown rice noodles and cooked some zucchini and green beans on the side. And it was really delicious. And then I had a protein ball and a tea to wrap up my night. All right, moving into Monday. Of course, again, as always, I started my day with a tizzy, a citrus fizz this time, and detox tea. And this time I had a smoothie for breakfast. So in this smoothie, I had beets, pears, and apples that I had frozen because they were going bad. And I was not sure how it was going to turn out, but I decided to be brave and go for it. As you can see, I added my greens powder as well, and then some water and some almond milk and blended it up. I believe I used cinnamon protein in this one. I have never had this smoothie before, so this is gonna be a really interesting taste test. We'll give it a smell test first, because it's an interesting combo. Oh, it smells good. Better than I would have thought. Yum. Approved. All right, and moving on to a late lunch that afternoon, I had some leftover stir-fry vegetables and brown rice. Those two shrimp that you saw on top were literally the only shrimp that were left over, but I did eat those two, and this was a great way to get all my vegetables. And of course, that afternoon, I had a fizz. So for dinner that night, we had ground turkey tacos, and I love using cassava flour and vegan cheese, and then I also added guacamole and salsa, and these were so delicious. I love how crunchy the taco shells turn out, and I always make sure to use my own spices on the taco meat. And then for dessert that night, I had 2 of those protein balls left, so you know I couldn't leave them in the fridge. All right, moving on to Tuesday. Again, I started the morning with a tizzy. Are you guys noticing a pattern here? When you give up coffee, you gotta have something to replace it with, and this is the best replacement. The fizz has less caffeine, but still gives you such a great boost in the morning. I love my tizzies. And moving on to breakfast, I decided to have a little granola and banana bowl. I usually like to eat something small before I go to the gym. I decided last minute that I was gonna add some yogurt and blueberries as well. Moving straight into lunch, I got home from the gym and I decided to have some of that leftover pasta as well as the vegetables from the night before. And of course, what is lunch without a fizz to go with it? That night, we decided to look up a paleo shrimp scampi recipe, and this was the result. I also added some zucchini and tomatoes, and of course, there's cute coda too. That night, I was craving some chocolate. This day, I just seemed to have a bigger appetite than a lot of the other days, and the important thing about the 30 days is eating when you're hungry. So I finished the night with a chocolate protein bar. All right, moving on to Wednesday. Take a guess. I started with you guessed it, another tizzy. Like I said, best morning drink there is. And next I moved to a smoothie, which I added some strawberries to. And then after the strawberries, of course, I added some spinach to get some extra greens because they are so healthy, and I love that you can't even taste it in the smoothie. And of course, Trail Cat wanted a taste too. Next, I added some orange. I also added our Digestion Plus, and then topped it off with the protein powder after that, and of course some almond milk and water. And as always, this green smoothie was so delicious and a perfect way to start my morning. Then for my mid-morning snack, I decided to snack on some grapes, and moving straight into lunch, you see that same pasta again. This time I added some spinach and some cherry tomatoes as well, just to get some vegetables in for lunch, and nuked it in the microwave, and it was a great, filling, healthy lunch. I'm pretty sure I forgot to film my dinner this night, but we had grass-fed beef steaks on the grill along with some vegetables. All right, moving into Thursday, I decided to start my morning with another granola, almond butter, and banana bowl. I love this granola because it's grain-free and made with really clean ingredients. For lunch this day, I had a chocolate mixed berry smoothie with some almond milk, and it was very delicious and, as always, very filling. That night for dinner, I decided to make some stuffed peppers using brown rice, black beans, onions, peppers, and of course these vegan mozzarella shreds, and it was so yummy. All right, let's move into Friday. Of course, I started the day with not a tizzy this day, but just a good old-fashioned fizz. I think I was in a rush to get to the gym, so I just wanted to get a little quick boost of energy before heading out the door, and this was an easy way to do that. And then I paired it with this chocolate Arbonne protein bar to get some energy before going to the gym. For lunch that day, I decided to have one of my leftover peppers with some guacamole, and then later in the day, I snacked on some apples and a rice cake with banana. Again, I forgot to film my dinner that night, and truthfully, I don't remember what it was. Let's move into Saturday. Started the morning with some delicious oatmeal. I added cinnamon protein powder, cooked it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and stirred it up, and then added some chia seeds, some banana, and topped it with some almond butter, and it was delicious. So for lunch this day, I decided to have one of those stuffed peppers again, and then this time I paired it with these black bean chips as well as some salsa and guacamole. That night for dinner, I decided to make some bruschetta style chicken. Again, I totally made this up as I went along. First, I cut up some tomatoes and added some fresh basil and Italian seasoning and garlic. And then I just oiled up these chicken breasts, added the mixture to the top, and then baked it in the oven. And for the last few minutes, I added some vegan mozzarella cheese. So that was my dinner, and we paired it with a salad. We are gonna end this video with a pro tip, and that is to make some smoothie bags ahead of time so you have them ready to go, just like I did here. If you've got some fruit that's about to go bad, this is the perfect time to use that. So I hope you guys loved this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. We will see you in our next video.